welcome back to Weeby Kids Yoga. In today's session, we are going to be looking at the humble pigeon and working our way towards pigeon pose. Now, if this is your first time with us, please be sure to check out our introduction to yoga with Weeby Kids so that you know what it's all about. And if you're returning, welcome back. Please ensure as always that you have plenty of space to move around in, that you're wearing clothes that you just feel comfortable to move and groove about in. And as ever, we have only one main ask here, and that is that you are kind to yourself throughout your practice. You know, there's only one of you. There is no point in pushing or hurting yourself. Yoga should never hurt. So be sure to look after yourself throughout this session. In today's session, you may find some benefit from having a comfortable blanket, nice and thick, or perhaps a couple of cushions somewhere close to hand for a little bit of pigeon pose that we are going to be working our way into. If you need to go and collect those now, please do so. Otherwise, we'll begin our session today as we always do, with our hands in Anjali Mudra, prayer position by the heart, rolling those shoulders back, straightening up through the spine. And we begin with a greeting, Namaste, which is a greeting from my heart to your hearts all the way around the world, and from your hearts all the way around the world back to mine. After 3, 1, 2, 3, Namaste. We're going to bring today's start with our hands on our belly. And I'd like you just to relax those shoulders down and just rest the elbows so that the hands and the arms are comfortable. If you're comfortable to, you can close your eyes, and otherwise it's okay if you don't. And we're just going to take in a nice deep breath and sigh it all out. Try again. One nice deep breath in, pushing the hands out in the belly and sighing it all back out. One last time. Nice deep breath in and sighing it all away from you. Now, we consider today our feathered friend, the pigeon. Did you know that pigeons are one of the most common birds in the UK? And although they are considered a pest, actually they are a bird with a wonderful history that joins with our own. We're going to begin today's session with a very quick warm-up. We're going to start at our toes and work our way up the body. So we're just first of all going to move up and down onto the balls of our toes, just so you can see what I'm doing there. And I'm just gently moving the arms, just starting to get some movement in the upper body there. Now we're going to roll over onto the front of those toes. That's it. Opposite sides, keep moving. We're going to start turning the ankles on one side and the other way. And then we're going to swing the knees. So we're going to be drawing little circles with our toes and the other way. And then we're just going to start moving that hip round in circles. So I'm now drawing a circle with my knee, I suppose. And the other direction. That's the one. To build up some strength in my leg as well for some balancing. On the other side, placing your foot down, we're going to begin lifting the opposite foot. We're going to turn some circles. And then we're going to move the other way. That's it. And then we're going to start drawing some circles on the ground, imaginary circles with our toes and going the other direction. And now we're going to start drawing some circles with our knee in front to pull our hips here, just to kind of move that joint. That's the one. And in the opposite direction. Beautiful. Placing your feet down nice and strong. Wriggle that part out. We're just going to do some slight pelvic tilts. That's it. And then we're going to be moving the hips around and around the other way and the other way and the other way. And then we're just going to stand up as though we are lifting out of our hips. I'm going to be considering our hips quite a bit today. So just consider where facing forward is with your hips. What's hip width? Lifting up, we're just going to stretch on one side, leaning, and the other one. And then we're going to curve our spine round and back on the other side. So round and back and round. We're just moving all parts of the body and all the joints, just warming them up ever so slightly. And then we're going to tip our head to the side, roll it forwards, and bring it up on the other side. And then come to the front with it, with straight forwards and lifting up and back to looking at me. Turn the head to the side, other side, back to looking at me. Tip the head down on, as though you're trying to bring your ear to your shoulder. Roll it round the front and back up on the other side. Lift it up to looking at me, looking at the ceiling, back to me, looking at the side, and then looking at the side. I hope you're feeling a little bit like you've moved and your body's warming up. We're going to begin today at the top of our mats. So, spreading those talons nice and wide, we are going to now morph into pigeon mode. Our arms are going to become our wings as we fly up and down through the skies. Taking a nice deep breath in, raising those wings as they reach for the sun. And as they lower, we bend forwards at the hips here and lower ourselves down, bending those knees if you need to in order to touch the ground, that's fine, and then gently straighten up as far as feels comfortable. Dangle that head and then slowly moving the arms up the body as you slowly unroll. Did you know that the pigeon is actually around all year? So from summer all the way through winter, we can find the common pigeon in our gardens, towns and parks. So, you ready? Hello, sunshine, soaring down, crunching hello leaves. Bending those knees, come drawing up the body. Hello, snow sky, coming down. Hello, spring puddles, splash your heels in the puddles. Bending those knees and unrolling and unraveling your way up. Put the weight through one leg, lifting onto the balls of the other. Bend ever so slightly at the hips. Leaning forward, lift the foot, stepping it back, leaning it backwards and down into a nice deep lunge. Notice that my knee here at the front is at 90 degrees and my hips are looking straight ahead. Push down into that front knee if you need to wriggle the toes forward. That's beautiful. Lifting those wings again to the side and up and slightly back and back down. We're going to lower that back knee. This time, if you need to, push those toes slightly forward and lean in so that we create a nice stretch through the body here at the front and leaning into that stretch. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. We don't want anyone with any groin problems. So just gently in that area. And then lifting back, place your bottom towards your heel and turn that front toe up. What I don't want to see is the hips turning. We're going to try and keep our hips facing forward. That may mean pulling your heel back towards you again as you place your bottom onto your heels and gently lean forwards at the front. And you'll feel a stretch down the back of your thigh. Leaning forwards there. Bring that leg round. And we're going to pull ourselves all the way down into a beautiful child's pose and close our wings behind us as we start pecking at the ground to get some birdseed. And putting our heads down to the ground. Bringing ourselves back up into a tabletop position. We're going to be a bird that's going to tuck its head under just for a moment's rest. Technically, birds don't actually put themselves with their wing over their heads, but they do turn their heads and tuck them and rest them back on their spine and under the wings. You're going to pretend that your front arm is your wing and place that nice and firmly down on the ground. You're going to take your other arm and you're going to slide it diagonally towards your knee, and you're going to slowly lower the elbow and then to the shoulder until you can get your ear on the ground if that is comfortable for you. And coming back up, And we're going to do the same on the other side. Taking the hand cross towards the knee, so the elbow's down, then the shoulder, bringing the ear down to the ground, and then raising ourselves back up. Coming up onto a high knee position, we are just going to raise one arm and stretch over to the side. I'll turn so you can see as though my wings are soaring through the sky. And once more to the other side, soaring through the sky, that beautiful wingspan of the pigeons. There we go. Now, taking our hands back down in front of us, we're going to tuck those toes under at the back and lift our bottom high up into the sky to make a bit of an upside down V shape. And we're just going to walk our heels at the back, if this feels at all tight for you. High on the toes, low. High on the toes, low. Then we're going to raise our leg, but I want you to consider only raising it so that your hips stay parallel to the ground, which means your leg may be a bit lower. I'll just show you, otherwise you'd be raising it and perhaps twisting and turning. Today, we just want to stay low and keeping our hips flat. Then you are going to pull that leg forwards and place it between your hands. If you need to walk it forwards to get there, that's okay too. And as you can see, we're back in that nice lunge position with our hands down at the front. Lifting our hands up, placing them on the knee. You can also then raise your wings at the side and back down, placing your hands down at the front again and lowering that back knee. We are again going to inch our foot forward and just lean a little bit more weight into that front knee and that front foot, taking some of that weight through our fingers, creating again that stretch down the other side of the thigh and deep into the hips. Tuck the toes under at the back as we lift ourselves back into a lunge position. Move the weight across as though I'm trying to start a race and lift. Give a little bit of a push to bring the balance back onto the one foot, a bit like a pigeon standing on one foot. Lowering your foot, bending those knees, drawing the hands up the body as we stand ourselves back into a beautiful mountain pose. We're going to do that one more time on the other side. Raising our wings, hello sunshine, bending at the hip as we come down. Oh, hello autumn leaves, bending your knees and as you unravel. Raising those wings, hello winter sky, folding at those hips, soaring down to the ground. Hello wet puddles, lifting those heels. Taking the opposite side leg this time, you're going to lift the weight into one leg as you step yourself back into a deep lunge. Nice 90-degree angle on the front here. You can feel a good stretch in the back and lowering the knee to the ground, flattening out. If you need to wriggle forward with your toes, you can do so to create a slightly deeper engagement, or you can keep it a bit higher up, whichever's best for you. And then we're going to pull ourselves up and lean back. We're aiming for our bottoms to sit down onto our heels. And that may mean slowly pulling that front leg further back, but just leaning forward so we get another stretch down the back of the hamstring. And then we're going to pull that leg round as we lower ourselves down into a deep child's pose, closing our wings behind us and pecking at the birdseed on the ground. And rest. And bring ourselves back up into a tabletop position, starting with the side closest to me this time. You're going to slide your arm through towards, as I'm aiming to touch my knee, pop down my elbow, my shoulder, my cheek and my ear, and coming back up. And again on the other side, crossing through, knee, elbow, shoulder, cheek and ear, and back up. Bringing ourselves up to a nice high knee position, soaring our wings out to the sides, That's it. Beautiful, soaring, stretching those wind spans on the side. We're going to bring ourselves back into that table, tuck under our toes, take ourselves into that upside down V. Beautiful, and you can walk at the back there, whatever's comfortable for you, high and low and high and low. Lifting the opposite leg this time. Again, making sure that our hips are staying so that they are facing the floor. We're going to lift that leg through, however is comfortable to you, into that deep lunge position once more. As you can see, I've got a 90 degree on the front. I can rise myself up to my knee. I can stretch up with my arms and back down. Placing down the back knee and the back foot flat. Inching forward with my toes at the front. So if I can lean deeper into that position or not, so just warming up that area. Then tucking the toes under, lifting back into my lunge, weighted the front, taking the weight onto the back part of the body and launching myself forwards. One-footed pigeons, placing my foot, lowering down and unraveling the body all the way up. That's amazing. You've done really well. Come now to bring ourselves into a cross-legged position. Start on one side, rolling those shoulders, nice and tall. And now we're just going to try the other leg in front. And you might find that there's some difference in how that feels for your hips. Just notice. We're now going to move to bringing our feet flat together. And then we're going to lower our knees as though we were aiming for the ground. But if your knees are up here, that's okay. Just work with whatever feels comfortable to your body. There we go. Now aim to have a nice straight back and slowly aim forwards, widening those elbows as you go. Breathe. On the out breath is when you're going to lower your body down and down. Perfect, up you come. Now, this time we're going to cross one leg towards the back buttock and we're going to lift the front leg. And we're going to place our hand underneath and we're just going to move that around. That's it. It's like cradling the log. I think, in fact, this is being a pigeon carrying a twig back to its nest. And now we're going to build our rather flimsy nest. We're going to place this so that we have our ankle on top of our knee, and then we're going to lift out the other one from below. So again, we can place our knee down towards the ankle. So we are stacking one leg on top of the other. There we go, sitting up nice and straight and tall. Did you know that pigeons always lay 2 eggs when they have a partnership? That surprised me. But they can often mate a few times in a year. Moving now to the other side. Lifting that opposite leg, you're going to place first the bottom leg back to the buttock and slide your arms underneath your shin and just rock the arm around. Rock the arm, and those are going to be carrying your leg or our twig so we can build our nest. Beautiful. And we're going to place down our ankle towards our knee and shimmy out the other one so that we have stacked our legs and built a beautiful nest. Rolling those shoulders back. We're going to try and make the call of the pigeon. So I'm rolling my tongue, I'm taking a breath in, and on the out breath is when I roll and make the noise. Try once more. And that is a little bit like the pigeon call. Taking our legs now out wide to the sides, however is comfortable for you. You may, if it's more comfortable for you, like to place a cushion underneath at the back, just to tilt your pelvis a little bit further forwards. And you're going to be leaning forwards from the hips. So when we're doing our pelvic tilts at the start, we're just going to roll those hips forwards as we walk our hands forwards, come down onto our elbows, lowering ourselves down, forehead down if we can, or to wherever is comfortable. Arms maybe as from the knees, you can walk them out to your feet. Find the place that's comfortable for you. If it's here, that's fine. Just work with wherever it is that you are comfortable with today. And now, having had a full body warm up, we've had a nice stretching session, we are prepared to move in to our main posture today, pigeon pose. Bringing your legs together, lifting under the knees, coming around onto all fours. Place your hands nice and wide with those talons nice and sharp, tucking your back toes under. You're going to come up into a nice upside down V hill position. Did you know pigeons can see in colour, just like us? It's quite a fascinating fact. You're going to lift one of your legs at the back. I want you to cross it over as though you're bringing your knee towards me. And you're going to slide that foot to draw an arc. And you're just going to bring the knee forwards. You can see how I'm transferring my weight over my arms, placing it down between the knees, slightly to the side which it belongs to. At this point, I want you to just place down your back knee and foot flat like we did when we were doing our lunges earlier. And I just want you to check where your hips are. Are they nicely facing square or have you twisted? If you're twisted, you need to bring yourself further up to a place where you can keep them straight. This may be your pigeon, and that is okay. If this is the case, you may, depending on how high up you are, and if this is uncomfortable, you can obviously place your hands down for support. But if this is uncomfortable, you can always place your blanket underneath your knees, or if you're a bit lower down, you can take a cushion and fold it, squish it into the right shape and place it under the buttock underneath just for some support so that it gives you a nice comfortable seat. So you're just going to lay that there. Notice that my foot is aiming almost to be towards the hip, so as almost as I could touch. And I'm making sure that my hips are nicely parallel to the ground. This is a perfectly good pigeon. If, however, you're not in need of the cushion, you may want to lower yourself down a little bit further, and I'm moving myself back with my foot until my bottom and my thigh on the far side here are in contact with the mat. You may also feel more comfortable moving the foot out a little and then rolling it back across. This is a more deep pigeon posture. This isn't for everybody. Please don't hurt yourself getting into this. If you are comfortable, you can lean forwards, placing your head down and coming back up. And to come back out, you can roll out on the side. So I'm leaning now, tipping my hips on purpose, tuck the toe under and inch your way forward into my knee comes up to my other one. Lifting, I'm going to then tuck that back toe under, raise back into an upside down V and bring my leg back across into a nice hilltop position there and coming back down. I'm going to repeat all of that on the other side so that you can see. Always ensure that you do both sides when you're practicing pigeon, because there can be quite uneven effects in the bottom of the spine and on the knees. So join in happily this time, taking those talons nice and wide, tucking the toes under the back, lifting your bottom up in the air into a nice hill upside down V, high and low. Taking one leg, you're going to cross it over the other and draw almost like a semicircle as you bring the knee in between your hands or slightly closer to the side hand that you have the same leg. You're then going to swing it slightly further back to begin with, lower the knee, flatten at the back, okay, and come on up. It's really important that our hips are facing forwards. If this is at all twingy for you, take a cushion, place it underneath, there we go, and put some weight into that. Or you can take blankets, more cushions, whatever you need, in order to make sure your hips are facing forwards. If you need to come out at all, you've gone too low, just use your foot at the back to move you back, or tuck the toe and bring you up. Okay? You can also place weight through your hands at the front, so there's less of a curvature in the spine. And this is a perfectly good pigeon position. Don't feel you're not doing the posture. You are. Okay, so if you are not in need of the cushion for the extra support, you can lower yourself slowly to the back there, pulling yourself back. And you will notice that the thigh area starts to come more or less in contact with the mat. You might feel you can't get there because your heel is too much in the way. You can tip slightly onto your side and just wriggle ever so slightly that front leg out, and then roll back over so that my hips still are both facing forwards and I'm comfortable in that, absolutely comfortable. And then I can, you can see I'm moving off the mat at the back, then moving myself back, move back into a place where I can feel it starting to gently stretch, but I don't want to be feeling any pain. Then I can move my hands forward, and if it's comfortable to do so, onto the elbows or down onto the forehead, and then bringing ourselves back up. To come back out, I'm going to tuck my toes under at the back and inch my way forwards, okay? Placing our hands at the front, nice and steady. You tuck those toes under, lift up into a dog position, upside down V, and bring my leg back through and round to the back and placing it down. Come down onto my knees, bottom to heels, and just stretch out. Then to turn ourselves over onto our back, we're going to bring our knees into our chest and just rock backwards and forwards a little bit, just to now ease out that lower back, just rocking side to side. That's it, and forwards and back. Imagine yourself drawing some little circles with the bottom of your spine and the other way. And then you're going to place down your heels by the bottom, take your arms out to the side, lower one leg, take the opposite hand to knee, lift up the knee and take it across your body to wherever is comfortable, as far down as the floor, but to wherever is comfortable, and turn your head in the opposite direction. Bringing the foot back down, bringing your other knee up, lowering the other leg, and do the same on the other side. Hand to knee on the opposite side, lifting the knee in, and gently rolling it over to the side as we turn our head in the opposite direction. Taking it as far as the knee, all the way down to the ground, or wherever is comfortable for you. Bringing it back up, placing our heel down, and stretching out our legs into a comfortable lying down position on the ground, hands beside the body. Take a moment. You have worked hard with our pigeon. Well done, everybody. Stretch out your toes at the bottom. Stretch with the palms of your hands and relax. Now, we're just going to do a very quick relaxation. Just want you to feel your body on the floor underneath you for a moment. Eyes can close if that feels comfortable, or remain open. I want you to imagine that there is a nice warm beam of light that's starting gently at the tips of your toes. And slowly, with its goldeny sparkle, its light touch warming you through. You're going to run that light through your feet, into your ankles, up your shins, up the calf, through the knee, all the way up through the thighs, warming into the hips and into the lower back, warming through the stomach area, warming the back of the body, up through the kidneys, and entering into the chest, the shoulders at the back, the collarbones and out to the shoulders and the starts of your arms. Running the light down and out through both arms, to the elbows, the forearms, the wrists, your hands, fingers and thumbs. The light continues all the way back up the arms, through the shoulders, the front of the throat, the back of the neck, enters up into the back of the head, the skull, round through the forehead, the eyes, your ears, your cheekbones, your jaw, your chin, your mouth, and your tongue as you relax. The whole body relaxes. The mind is golden, sparkly light. Relax. And taking a nice deep breath in now. And sighing it back out. Gently wriggling the fingers and the toes as we draw our knees into our chest, opening the eyes if they were closed, and bring ourselves up to a comfortable seated position. How did you find that today? Pigeons are such a wonderful creature. Did you know that doves and pigeons are part of the same family? And they've been helping mankind for thousands of years, sending messages, being carrier pigeons for us. Perhaps you will approach our pigeon friends a little more differently next time you see them, and realize that they have their place here on earth just as much as we do. Take care. Bye from Weeby Kids.